Hello, my friends, and welcome once again to the Take the Sky inspirational vlog. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a time in your life where you were trying and trying and trying and trying, but it just didn't happen? Well, we are going to be discussing that today. Stop trying to force it. And we are going to get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action. And I quote, stop trying to force things to happen. It's motivation. And the perspective. Whatever is to be shall be. You don't have to encourage what has been written. Forcing things will cause unnecessary damage. Let things take their natural course. The wind doesn't have to be forced or told by you or me to blow. Listen, let me hit that one more time. The wind doesn't have to be forced or told by you or me to blow. Destiny works the same way. Plant the seeds and it shall grow. I'm going to say that one more time. Or as my old band drum major used to say, Andre Jones at Fair Park High School, Shreveport, Louisiana, used to say one more again. I'm going to say it one more again. Okay. Plant the seed and it shall grow. Woo! Let's talk about this thing. Stop trying to force things to happen. You know, in life, many times we've got these ambitions and these goals and these dreams and these ideas about the who, the what, the when, the how, the where, all of these things. And one of the biggest things that we as human beings have to deal with and contend with is patience. You ever had a situation where you beat yourself up over it, you fretted over it, you got frustrated over it, you got pissed off over it, you got mad over it, you tried everything in the world to make this thing happen or not happen. And you exhausted yourself, you exhausted your resources. We've all done it. I know I have. Don't act like you haven't, okay? And we exhausted ourselves, and maybe we called everybody we could call, and oh my God, and we cried, and oh my God, this isn't gonna work. I mean, just all of that stuff, and we got melodramatic or whatever, or maybe it was something subtle. It doesn't matter. And we did all of these things, and we went around the world, from Portland to Paris and back, walking. And then, after we did all of that crazy stuff, in its own time, the situation worked itself out. And you, maybe or maybe not, said to yourself, why did I put myself through all that? Why did I lose my mind? Why did I stress out so much when all I had to do was leave it alone? Sometimes I'm a prayer person, all right, and I'm not gonna cut things in half and mince my words. I pray, and then I've had to learn to do it over the years. I pray, and then I leave stuff alone, and I ask, if it's in your will, let it be done. And most of the time, it gets fixed. Now, sometimes, and here's what we have to learn how to deal with, the fix may not be what we quite wanted or what we quite imagined, but it got fixed. And like I said, not only patience, but acceptance. That's another thing. That's a very hard human emotion that we have to deal with. See, patience and acceptance kind of run hand in hand. So you got to be patient enough to let it manifest. And then when it happens, you have to be accepting of what you're given or what you're blessed with. And trust me, if it was a desire or something that needed to transpire and it transpired, was a blessing. Relationships. Woo! Trying to hold on to somebody or something that's not meant for us. How many of us have done that? If it's for you, it shall be. And if it is not, it shall not be. But whatever the end result is, that is what it's supposed to be. How many times have we been in relationships? I'm gonna bring up some real stuff. How many times you been in a relationship with somebody, you worked your ass off? Oh my God, I gotta just say this. I love him so much. I love her so much. Oh my God. Now you do all this crazy madness and nonsense and everything, but it just doesn't work out, and they just don't want to stay, or they just don't want to act right, and they just don't want to do what they're supposed to do, and it finally just implodes or explodes or whatever, the bridge gets burned down or whatever, and so forth and so on. And you sitting there, you bawling and ballyhooing and doing all of the stuff that you do, and then you finally go, okay, I'm going to breathe now. And then 2 or 3 years later, they turn out to be a complete damn fool. Or they just do something stupid, and you run into them and you just go, thank you, God, for moving that out. But if you would have had it your way, you would have forced it to be. Don't allow it to manifest. Typical, another big one. Trying to change people. Children, friends, spouses, girlfriends, boyfriends, trying to change people. Here's something that has come to me, and it was an epiphany, and that is, what if you're trying to change something that's supposed to be? Person be like, well, they're strung out on drugs, and they're crazy, or they can't see my way, or they're bad with money. But have you ever thought for a minute that maybe that's a part of their process and you're trying to change their process? Think about what you went through in your life to become who you are. And let's talk about the better part of you. One of the better parts of you, but you really had to go through something, or you made some mistakes and it made you the person you are today, and you're better for it. Now imagine if someone would have come in and they would have interrupted that. Imagine that. If that bad thing you went through, or that crazy phase you went through, doing all kind of dumb shit and doing crazy stuff and everything that made you a better person, that taught you some wonderful life lessons. Imagine if someone would have been hell-bent on changing you at that time and going, but you need to deviate. You need to go in a different direction. You need to stop doing what you need to do. You need to stop being crazy. You need to stop worrying about you. And now you're turning away from your destiny. See, sometimes God has a plan for us, and sometimes that path and that walk ain't necessarily just smooth sailing. Sometimes the road gets bumpy. Sometimes we make, I don't want to even call them mistakes, because I don't believe we make mistakes. I believe we make decisions. We create lessons for ourselves. Okay, so I'm not going to call it a mistake. I'm going to say we adhere to the lesson plan that gets thrown in front of us. Sometimes it's your lesson plan, and sometimes it's not. And I hate the word plan, but I'm going to use it today. Sometimes it's your lesson plan, and sometimes it's your blessing plan. All right? and it's not a mistake. Or you're not off the path. You're never really off the path. So think about that when you're trying to change someone in your life. Maybe it's their path. And the person, what about if they're a drug addict and they're strung out and they're on the streets? And what if it's meant for them to be a drug counselor who helps to save lives a decade from now? What if they clean up and they go to school and they get a certification or a degree in social work, and then they go out or they work for an establishment or an agency that helps to rehabilitate drug addicts? Who better to speak to those people than a person or persons who have lived it? So be careful about trying to change people, all right? Here's another one. When somebody's getting on your nerves, maybe it's meant for them to get on your nerves. All right? Now, I talked to a friend of mine, and he told me about a sermon that he heard, and maybe they're getting on your nerves to extract that better you. Maybe it's time for you to learn patience. Maybe it's time for you to learn forgiveness. Maybe it's time for you to learn compassion. So this person comes into your life, all right? And they're sit there to shake it up a little bit. What will be, will be. And maybe, just maybe, they on your damn nerves, because maybe it's time for you to change. Maybe the change is not so much them. Maybe the change is about you. And also consider this. If they're on your nerves, maybe you're on their nerves. All right? Now, let's talk about careers and things of that sort. All right? Just a little something to think about. All right? Let's talk about this. You know, I'm in the music business. I DJ, I write songs, I produce music, I perform live, and have done it for years and years and years. And I had aspirations and dreams. I wanted to be big as Mike and Prince and Madonna and Lionel Richie and all those people, you know, back then in the 80s and stuff, you know, of course, you know, and whatnot. And I'm sure at the time in my 20s, I'd be willing to almost do anything, something shy of immoral or illegal to get to that point. You know, this is why a lot of people sign really shitty recording contracts and really, really crappy agency contracts, because they're so wanting it so bad that they're willing to give over their power. They're willing to give over their control. They're willing to give over their name, their image, their likeness, their royalties. That's you. That's your ownership. No one should own you. Now, listen, instead of signing yourself over, partnership. Partner with the people. Don't sign yourself over. No, you own you. Don't you dare give you up. And listen, that's with professional life and personal life. Nobody owns you. No, you don't give yourself up and give yourself over and whatnot. And so I was back to the career part. You know, I'm sure that if somebody would have caught me on the right day in my 20s, I probably would have signed one of those crap deals too. All right, but I feel like there was a shield of protection over me. I got a praying mama and praying aunties and cousins and stuff, so I know those prayers were working. They were working. All right. And I'm sure in my wanting to be famous back then, I probably would have signed a really bad deal. But that would have been me trying to force the success. All right. That would have been me trying to force something to happen. All right. You know what happens? Listen, you cause damage when you try to force things. If you don't believe me, try to drive a car into a space or into a garage, and the garage or the space is too small. Try it and see what happens to your car. Damage. If you force it, you're going to damage things. Trying to force relationships, you're going to damage things. Try to force somebody to love you and see what happens in the end. Damage. Collateral damage. And you're the collateral damage in most cases. Try to force a business relationship, all right? All right? Try to force yourself to stay awake and it, like me. I ain't gonna lie. Okay, I stay awake crazy hours, but I sleep too. A lot of people don't. I just know how to do it. All right, but try to force yourself. Like I know people who work 70 and 80 hours a week. Insanity. You know what's happening? Slow damage. It's damaging them internally. It's damaging their health. Forcing things. Try to force friendships. Try. You know what's going to happen? You're going to run into the wrong people. And they're going to use you, abuse you, steal from you maybe even. You can't force it. If it's meant for you to be successful, let go of the handlebars. All right? Turn it loose. Let it go. Thank you for joining us once again. I hope that you thoroughly enjoyed the vlog this week. Listen, if you have not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so right now. And don't forget to hit the like button and share this with your friends and family. Also, if you would like to get a notification as to when the new vlog goes up, just click the little bell icon and you'll get a ding, ding, ding. If you'd like to get a copy of the Take the Sky book, you can do so by going to lulu.com. That is LULU.com. We've got 3 different versions. We've got a 6x9, we have an 8.5x11, and we have an ebook for your mobile device. You can also get the book at barnesandnoble.com. Listen, my friends, I got to get out of here. It's been an absolute thrill once again. This is Take the Sky. I am Ducado VeGA. Peace, and I'm out.